Welcome to our series B2B Bites, where we learn about the exciting world of B2B e-commerce. I'm your host, Lance Owide, General Manager of B2B at BigCommerce. Our guest today is Nicole Donnelly, who is the founder of DMG Digital, a digital marketing agency serving B2B manufacturers. Nicole provides marketing and e-commerce readiness consulting for manufacturers to help improve their online presence and start selling online. And that is actually our topic today, e-commerce readiness. There are lots of B2B businesses out there that aren't selling online yet, and they're thinking about it. And today, Nicole is going to explain how you should go about it. What do you need to be ready? Welcome to the show, Nicole.
Thanks so much, Lance. I'm so excited to talk about this topic. There are so many manufacturers in this country who need this help. They need to be able to start selling online so that they can compete and thrive in the years ahead. And the opportunity for them is huge. There's so much opportunity for them to increase revenue, reach new markets, and really even offer better service to their existing customers by selling online. So this is such an exciting topic and an exciting time for manufacturers to get started with this if they haven't yet.
I couldn't agree more. The question is, where do they get started? How do they start? It seems like a mountain to climb to get online. It's not, but where do they start, Nicole? How should they think about it?
Yes, great question. So the first thing you want to do is you got to talk to your customers and you've got to talk to your team internally and really understand what it is that your customers really value most about your purchasing experience. What are some of the challenges and the friction points that they're having? And ask your frontline employees the same thing. Really try to dive deep and understand first. That will help you know what are the requirements that you need your e-commerce store to have. So it really starts with understanding what those business requirements are. And you've got to gather that from your customers and from your team and really listen and include them in that requirements gathering process. A lot of times, executive teams will just put that together without doing any of the due diligence of actually talking to the people where it actually matters, the people that are actually, interacting and purchasing from you. And that's really something you want to make sure you prioritize first. And one of the things I've noticed as I've done this with my clients is the most important question I found is not just asking what's going wrong in the purchasing experience, but asking what's going right. Because you really want to be able to identify what is that kind of thread of tradition that the company was built on, that's part of the culture that you can kind of hold to and ground your team through as you move through this e-commerce transformation. Because if you're a B2B company and you're looking to expand to e-commerce, it is a completely different way of selling that in many ways is at odds with the traditional way that you've been selling if you're in B2B. And so having that thread of tradition to carry you through can kind of help you through that process. So you've got to do the needs assessment first and gather those requirements. And then it's very important that you also partner with a really great, we call them a solutions integrator. These are the folks that live and breathe and die e-commerce and will actually build your e-commerce store for you. You need an expert. You need someone who can help guide you through that process because the requirements for B2B can be very, very complex. And so it can be very easy to just say, hey, let's just look at a shopping cart and we're going to choose this shopping cart with not really very much understanding or knowledge about all of the business requirements and constraints. So you've got to start with the business needs very first, and then let the business needs guide what your technology needs to be and find an expert to help you do that. And there's lots of really great ecosystems, through BigCommerce partner directories and all of the other shopping carts have partner directories that you can leverage to find partners that you can use there. The other thing that is really important is to create a compelling vision for your team to hold on to. So you want to make sure that you have a reason or a purpose for why you're doing e-commerce. I host a weekly manufacturing show, and we had one of our clients come on the show. And one of the questions we asked him was, what advice would you give to other manufacturers or B2B companies who are looking to invest in e-commerce? And without hesitation, he said, you've got to know the purpose for your e-commerce store, because that's going to help when things get difficult and when it gets frustrating as you're going through that transformation process. It gives something for people to hold on to. And it can also guide the requirements part of the process too. If you know the why or the reason why you're doing that helps you know, okay, these are the things that we need to do first with e-commerce. And these are the priorities that we can maybe tackle later on in the process. because e-commerce is so complicated, and it's very important that you phase it out. Start small and build from there rather than trying to do everything that you want to do all at once, which can be very overwhelming.
Yeah, that's such a great point. Define that purpose, that vision. What are you trying to achieve? How would a manufacturer go about quantifying the benefit of being on e-commerce? We've defined the vision. We know what we want to get to. How do I quantify it? I'm going up. Maybe I'm a solo entrepreneur. Maybe I've got a board, and I'm going to or even I'm an e-commerce manager. I'm going to my manager. How do I quantify that benefit? How should folks think about that?
Okay, so when you're looking at the potential benefits of e-commerce adoption, like increased revenue, cost savings, and improved customer relationships, when you're talking to your leadership team, what you want to really focus on is the opportunity for you to reach new markets first. So if you're a regional company that's been selling locally, for example, e-commerce could really open up a ton of opportunities for you to expand globally if you want to, internationally and nationally. So it opens up entirely new markets to customers you've never been able to reach before. The other thing you want to think about is how much online sales are going to come in from this new platform just for new customers, but also how much revenue is increasing by sales rep, how much more your sales rep's able to sell, because e-commerce is there to help take care of some of those repeat orders that the sales reps traditionally would have be taken over the phone that now can be handled through the store. And that's going to increase not only the revenue for the company, but reduce a lot of the operations expenses that are involved. The other thing is think about all the time that it takes your team to prepare shipping quotes and quotes for products, for example. A lot of the B2B companies that I've worked with, this is a huge process and it's pretty manual, right? Like if someone wants to order something, they've got to go through 5 different people to be able to prepare a quote for the product, which takes a lot of time. Or even getting a shipping quote can be really this long, complex process when you're dealing with LTL. But when you have an e-commerce platform that allows you to get instant LTL shipping quotes, you can now go on the platform and be able to find out in an instant how much it's going to cost to ship to anywhere in the United States, for example. And that's a huge cost savings for the organization. The same thing goes with preparing quotes. If there's a way that you can automate that process through e-commerce and be able to configure quotes through the store and be able to get that automated, that saves a ton of time on your internal team that they don't have to worry about anymore. And a few other things that you can look at is just customer retention and your net promoter score. Is that increasing over time as you're using e-commerce? Those are a few of the metrics that you can look at.
I love that. You can grow your business online. You can capture new revenue from markets you're not in. It's beneficial for your sales team. They can focus on selling. And then there are huge operational efficiencies behind that as well that I think are important to capture as you're evaluating e-commerce. You finished there talking about NPS and customer retention. That's such an important point. How can e-commerce help improve customer satisfaction, help to retain customers, and improve that NPS? And maybe explain to the audience what NPS is. They may not know.
Yeah. So NPS is Net Promoter Score. And this is an actual evidence-based score that tells you how likely your customers are to recommend you to a friend. And the higher your NPS score is, the more likely you are, they've found, the more likely it is that your business is going to grow. And so this is a really important metric that businesses should be using, measuring at least on an annual basis to see how are we doing? How well are our customers? How happy are they with our service? And the great thing about e-commerce is that you're able to provide a self-serve experience for your customers that they've never had with B2B by being able to have them purchase certain things online. There was a Gartner study that came out recently that over 70% of the purchasing process now happens online. So your customers are out there already doing their research before they're ready to pick up the phone and call. And they're used to that B2C experience where they go to Amazon and just with one click, they can order what they need. As time goes on, more of these B2B buyers, that's what they expect. That's what they're used to. That's what they want. And so being able to create that experience for them in a B2B environment is huge to increasing that NPS score, that customer satisfaction, that they're able to get what they need quickly and easily and have an option to self-select. And the beauty is that when you combine that online self-selection option for them with the opportunity to have a dedicated, account rep, sales rep, whatever you want to call it. Now you're really able to just create this fantastic customer experience by giving that personal hands-on service, but also allowing them the option and the flexibility and the ease and the convenience of being able to purchase and select online.
I love that. Improve the experience. That will boost up your Net Promoter Score, and that will improve your customer loyalty. We've covered so much in this very short 10-minute episode today. This was fantastic. Thank you so much for all those great insights, Nicole. Thank you so much for joining us.